The Cowboys have done a second thing. Long snappers don't count. Today's show on the Jourdan Lewis re-signing is made possible by 8 Sleep. I've always slept well. My wife hasn't really. Sometimes it may or may not be my snoring, but everything has gotten better since we got the 8 Sleep Pod 3 cover. I'll tell you all about them later on in today's show as we break down the second/third movie count long snappers of the Dallas Cowboys this free agency cycle. Jourdan Lewis is back again as a member of the Dallas Cowboys. A 1-year deal. No contract details at this stage beyond it's fully guaranteed, which, to a certain extent, like it would have been weird if it wasn't fully guaranteed because the practicality of it is that it is guaranteed. He's not going to not make the team in the end. So Jourdan Lewis, the second move along with Eric Kendricks that we broke down last night in the bad timing at home video for you guys. It's time we were live when it happened. So it's very, very much easier to do on the fly there. We will have more on Jourdan Lewis and all the Cowboys free agency moves right here on the channel. Hit that sub button, youtube.com/@CowboysTV for more free videos. Lewis is back to once again be the nickel corner, or at least give them a nickel corner option in free at the position alongside Trayvon Diggs, Deron Bland. We'll come back to what this means for Stephon Gilmore in a little bit here later on in today's show. But Lewis was pretty solid, frankly, last year for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, he tends to be the one that everybody blames for everything, but there were multiple games this past year where he was the one making some run stops, where he can do zone and he can do man. He is not some elite Kenny Moore-esque nickel corner. You're also not paying him to be that, I would assume, having not seen the announced contract details at this stage, but Jourdan Lewis does help you. It gives you a third option in the cornerback room. We'll come back to this graphic and what it means for Stephon Gilmore later on. But right now, under contract, you have Trayvon Diggs coming off the ACL tear, Deron Bland, and Jourdan Lewis. So you can at least have Diggs, Bland, and Lewis as your starters, and now you're not, a month away from having to find a new starting corner in the NFL draft. And that's the type of move this team loves to do in free agency. It's a good move. It's just you want more than just that one particular move. I'll put the rough estimation here, the over-under on the contract. I'm going to go with this maybe around $5 million. Maybe it comes in a little bit less, a little bit more, who knows. But I'm going to guess somewhere around that benchmark, maybe even under that figure for the Dallas Cowboys. So, of course, more to come on this move. But grade the Jourdan Lewis re-signing with the Dallas Cowboys. A, B, C, D, or F. It is the pinned comment on today's show, so if the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there, type A, B, C, D, or F. So Lewis is back with the Dallas Cowboys. That is a big deal because it gives you the depth that you need. And my grade, by the way, guessing around with the contract, it'll probably be a B. If it comes in at like $2 million, that's an A. You got a starting caliber corner for that cheap. I don't think it's going to come in that low. But you needed to have something at corner. In the same way, you needed something at linebacker. You had to have more than your backup options, Nahshon Wright and Eric Scott, who basically weren't able to get on the field for you the past year and a half in Nahshon Wright's case. You know what Lewis is. He is not a superstar player. You're not paying him to be one. He is a lower-end starting nickel corner, and that carries value. You had to have one of those guys unless you thought Israel Mukuamu could finally be that piece step forward going forward, which maybe you try him at safety full-time. I don't even know what his best spot is, frankly. Now, as for what it means with Stephon Gilmore, I don't know. I don't know how much this is going to directly impact Stephon Gilmore. Todd Archer says the option for Stephon Gilmore is to return is still out there. And that would make me a very happy camper. I would be happy if they found a way to retain him. And just running it back at corner, I think does make sense more than some of the other positions on this roster. We'll see what Gilmore's market looks like. I'm willing to bet the Cowboys pulling a trigger on their second move means they probably got Jourdan Lewis fairly cheaply, but you could not have one of those two guys back without doing something else in free agency. So I am still hopeful, optimistic, and want to see the return of Stephon Gilmore too. We'll have to wait and see if that ends up happening. Today's show, like I mentioned, is made possible by 8 Sleep. It's the high-tech solution to all your age-old sleeping issues. 8 Sleep's Pod 3 cover slips right over your mattress, bringing heat and cooling tech that keeps you comfortable and sleeping deeper for a better, more restful night. Did you know that sleep science shows in order to sleep our best, our body temperature has to drop in the early and middle part of sleep and rise in the morning? The 8 Sleep Pod cover will improve your sleep by automatically adjusting your bed's temperature based on your individual needs. The cover is added to any bed like a fitted sheet and allows you and your partner to cool or warm your side of the bed as low as 55 degrees and up to 110 degrees. There's no better way to improve your day-to-day life than with better sleep. And the easiest way to do that is with the 8 Sleep Pod 3. In addition to keeping you at the perfect temperature all night, the pod also tracks your sleep and health metrics. On average, pod users see their sleep quality improve by 32% after just a month on the pod. So go to 8sleep.com/chatsports and get $200 off plus free shipping on the pod cover by 8 Sleep. Start the new year right and invest in the rest you deserve with the 8 Sleep Pod. Links in the comments and the description of today's show. Some more thoughts here on the Jourdan Lewis re-signing with the move by the Dallas Cowboys. Took him 4 days to make a re-sign. It wasn't a long snapper. That is longer than they normally have to wait. We saw Leighton Vander Esch get about $4 million last year. Still waiting on his official retirement. In terms of the salary cap impact, depending on what Lewis gets, basically chop off $1 million since you're already above 51 men on your roster. So the top 51 rule doesn't really apply from that perspective. It does apply, so you're saving the guy you're bumping off that list there. I have no complaints about this. It's not a home run move, but it is something. So I'll give my one-word reaction here to the re-signing of Jourdan Lewis momentarily. What is your one-word reaction? Go ahead and sound off for me in the comment section of today's show. My one word is, nickel, solid, depth, good even. My multi-word action is not enough. You can't, again, the overall issue I've had for a very long time with this Cowboys organization is this. The individual moves are fine, Nothing to be, you can't really be mad about a cheap one-year deal. There's no long-term downside. It's not going to hurt you, but it also can't be all you do. If your plan is to win games right now, you need to do more than just Eric Kendricks and Jourdan Lewis. If you want to make it further than what you did at the disastrous playoff game last year. If your goal is to rebuild, then why are you bringing back Jourdan Lewis? I think this team's plan is status quo, and I kind of hate that as a plan. But I don't want to punt on this year because I'm a 12-win team. I can't punt on that. I will bemoan the fact they are not more aggressive, and I will say re-signing Jourdan Lewis is a pretty solid move, even if it's certainly not enough to make me happy as a Cowboys fan. At least I'm not as mad as I was. I still think the clown thumbnail worked, by the way. I think the clown show thumbnail is what finally drove this organization to start making some moves. You got Jourdan Lewis back. You have a linebacker. You still need like 5 more moves of starting-ish caliber players before I start to feel good, though, and not just okay, before I start to feel good about this Cowboys free agency class in 2024.